with the valence electrons shared among all the atoms in the metal. Metallic bonds result in the characteristic properties of metals, such as their high electrical conductivity and malleability. Molecules. Molecules are formed when atoms combine through chemical bonds. Molecules can be composed of two or more atoms of the same element or different elements. The properties and behavior of molecules are determined by the type of chemical bonds and the arrangement of atoms within the molecule. The shape of a molecule is determined by the arrangement of its atoms in space. The valence shell electron pair repulsion (SPER) theory predicts the shape of molecules based on the repulsion between electron pairs in the valence shell of the central atom. Chemical bonding. Chemical bonding is the process by which atoms combine to form molecules and compounds. The type of chemical bonding between atoms determines the properties of the resulting molecules and compounds. In this article, we will explore the different types of chemical bonding, including ionic, covalent, and metallic bonding. Ionic bonding. Ionic bonding is the result of the transfer of electrons from one atom to another, resulting in the formation of ions with opposite charges. Ionic bonding typically occurs between metals and nonmetals, with the metal atom losing one or more electrons to become a cation and the nonmetal atom gaining one or more electrons to become an anion. The attraction between the oppositely charged ions results in the formation of an ionic bond. Ionic compounds typically have high melting and boiling points and are brittle solids at room temperature. They are also typically soluble in water and other polar solvents. Covalent bonding. Covalent bonding is the result of the sharing of electrons between atoms, resulting in the formation of molecules. Covalent bonding typically occurs between nonmetal atoms, with each atom contributing one or more electrons to the bond. Covalent bonds can be polar or nonpolar, depending on the electronegativity difference between the atoms involved. In a polar covalent bond, electrons are shared unequally between the atoms, resulting in a partial positive charge on one end of the molecule and a partial negative charge on the other end. In a nonpolar covalent bond, electrons are shared equally between the atoms. Covalent compounds can exist as solids, liquids, or gases at room temperature. Depending on the strength of the intermolecular forces between the molecules. They are typically insoluble in water but can dissolve in nonpolar solvents. Metallic bonding. Metallic bonding is the result of the sharing of valence electrons between metal atoms. In metallic bonding, the valence electrons are delocalized, meaning they are free to move throughout the metal. This results in the characteristic properties of metals, such as high electrical conductivity and malleability. Metallic compounds typically have high melting and boiling points and are solids at room temperature. They are typically insoluble in water but can dissolve in other metals to form alloys.